So what drone should you buy in 2022? Well, I think there's three you should consider: the DJI Mini 2, the DJI Air 2S, and the DJI Mavic 3. And I've had the pleasure of owning all three. In this video, I'm going to quickly go over the specification differences between the three and who I think each of the three drones is catered to, because I think each one of them drones has a specific user and a specific use case. Now, this video is sponsored by the Sonoran Desert Institute School of Unmanned Technology, and I'll be telling you quickly about what they offer in the middle of this video. But for now, let's jump right in. So I've just brought up a table in front of me with the specification differences between the three drones, and I'll just quickly go through what they are so you're aware of them. So let's talk about the camera. The DJI Mini 2 is capable of 4K 30fps, and it gets that from a 1/2.3 inch sensor. The Air 2S is capable of 5.4K video at 30fps, and it gets that from a 1 inch sensor. The Mavic 3 is capable of slightly less resolution, 5.1K, but it can do 50fps, and it has a micro 4/3 sensor. It also has a 1/2 sensor on its tele zoom lens, because the Mavic 3 comes with two cameras on the gimbal, a main photo and video camera and a optically zoomed camera. They call it Explorer mode. You can use it to get some interesting parallax shots, but you do get two cameras with the Mavic 3. In terms of obstacle avoidance, the Mini 2 has basically none. It has downward sensors, but it really uses this for landing. The Air 2S, you get forward, backwards, upwards and downward sensors. You don't get side sensors. The Mavic 3 has omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, so it has a 360 view around itself. It is the safest drone to be flying in the air from an obstacle avoidance point of view. In terms of flight time, the DJI Mini 2 and the Air 2S both have the same 31 minutes, and the Mavic 3 has a slightly longer flight time of 46 minutes. In terms of wind resistance, all three drones have exceptional wind resistance. They do differ slightly. So the Mini 2 is 37.8 kilometers an hour, although I will say that is exceptional because when you hold the Mini 2 in your hands, it's such a lightweight and small drone, you really wouldn't think it could handle the wind well, but it really does. It's so stable, even up to that max wind resistance. The Air 2S is capable of 38.5 kilometers an hour max wind speed, and the Mavic 3 is capable of 43.2 kilometers an hour. Really is exceptional in high wind. In terms of weight, and this is important for drone law, the Mini 2 is 249 grams, so in the UK that's an A1 class drone. You can basically fly it anywhere, all you need to do is register it, you just can't fly it over groups of people. The Air 2S is 595 grams, but it is still an A3 class transitional drone, and you'll need to do your A2 CFC to be able to fly it in the A2 category. The Mavic 3, although it's a good bit heavier than the Air 2S at 895 grams, is also an A3 transitional class drone, same as the Air 2S, and you will need to do your A2 CFC certificate to be able to fly it as A2 transitional. Where you do notice that weight difference is if you're carrying your drone in a backpack. The Mini 2, you barely notice it's in there because it's incredibly lightweight and compact. The Air 2S, the difference between it and the Mavic 3, you do notice the Mavic 3 being a good bit heavier because it is. In terms of size, the Mini 2 is obviously incredibly small, incredibly compact, you can literally put it in your pocket. The Air 2S and Mavic 3, when they're folded up, kind of in the same ballpark. Whenever they're folded out, there is a difference. So the Air 2S is 183 by 253 by 77 millimeters, and the Mavic 3 is 347 by 283 by 107. So it is that little bit bigger. Price. For each one of these steps up, you're basically doubling in price. So the Mini 2, at the time of making this video, is $519. I think this is exceptional value for money, especially for beginners, when you consider everything you're getting for that price point. The Air 2S is $1,249. And I also think this is exceptional value for money. If you are looking for the best bang for buck right now, then I think the Air 2S is it. Then, if you want the best of the best in terms of the flagship DJI drone right now, the Mavic 3, you're going to be paying $2,669. So not a cheap drone, but it is the best of the best. So like I say, for each step up, you're basically doubling the price. Now, if you've been flying your drone for a while and you want to start using your drone commercially, or you want to get a career in drone flying or unmanned technologies, then the Sonoran Desert Institute has a course for you. Maybe you want to learn how to program drones and manage aerial systems and programs. The Sonoran Desert Institute offers online, unmanned technology education with modern courses and materials shipped right to your door. Course topics range from aviation management to UAS engineering, unmanned aircraft systems, FAA regulations, flight testing, and more. If you want to turn your drone flying hobby into a career or get into commercial drone flying, then this is a course you should really check out. I put a link down below to the SDI website where you can see everything this course offers, and I recommend checking it out if you're looking to turn your drone flying into a career. So which of the three should you buy? Well, I think each drone is suited to a different type of user, and I'm going to explain what I think they are now. So the DJI Mini 2 I think is best for beginner flyers or people who want to travel with their drone. And there's a few reasons for that. The first is, as a beginner, you don't want to spend lots of money on a drone, especially if you don't know how well into the hobby you're going to get. You might only fly it a few times and decide the hobby's not for you, or you might accidentally crash it, and you don't want to have spent a lot of money on a drone. The price point for the DJI Mini 2 is relatively inexpensive, and I think it's exceptional in terms of the value for money you get in such a lightweight and compact drone. Talking about lightweight and compactness, that's another reason I think this drone is exceptional for beginners and also people who want to travel with their drone. The DJI Mini 2 is so light and so compact, you can basically put it anywhere. You don't really need a specific bag for it, although if you do, you don't need much space in it. But if you're traveling, you can literally put it in your travel case and go anywhere with it. Likewise, because of its size and because of its weight, it's incredibly unrestricted. So I can't speak for drone regulations everywhere. It's going to be the least restricted drone you can take with you whenever you're traveling, and that's important because you obviously want to get the most videos and photos in the most places when you can when you're traveling. The only cons are there's no active tracking. Yes, you can do it through third-party apps such as Litchi, but I haven't found them to be very good. So I'm just going to say you can't do active tracking natively through the DJI Fly app, and there's no real obstacle avoidance. But that's about it. Next we have what I'm calling the best drone for most people, and that is the Air 2S. In terms of bang for buck, you're not going to get better than the Air 2S currently. And the main reason for that is the 1-inch sensor you get with this drone. The videos and photos that you can take and will get with the Air 2S are absolutely exceptional. The detail and quality is amazing, and you can even get commercial level or professional shots with this drone. It also comes with OcuSync 3.0 transmission, and so you know that the transmission you're going to get is extremely reliable. It also has obstacle avoidance. I did mention that it doesn't have them side sensors, so that is something to be aware of. But in terms of forwards, backwards, upwards and downwards, if you decide to fly your drone towards a tree for whatever reason, it will try and stop itself. A more use case scenario is you lapse judgment for a moment and you accidentally fly towards an object, the drone will stop itself from hitting it. Very important, especially if you're using the drone commercially. The only slight con with this drone is its flight time. It has the same flight time as the Mini 2. It doesn't have that 46 minutes that the Mavic 3 has. But like I said, Air 2S right now, if I was on the market, first time buyer, knew I wanted to get into the drone hobby, the Air 2S is the one I would buy. Then we have the professional user, and that would be the DJI Mavic 3. In terms of flying drone cameras, you will not get a better camera that can fly right now than the DJI Mavic 3. It's the DJI flagship drone, and if you want the ultimate quality from a drone camera, it's coming from the DJI Mavic 3. The video and photo quality you can get from the DJI Mavic 3 is mind-blowing. If you're using the videos and photos in settings outside of YouTube, outside of Instagram, where you need that full resolution, you're looking at it on a 4K monitor, really this is where the DJI Mavic 3 becomes worlds apart, becomes much, much better. When you look at the videos compressed down onto YouTube, YouTube reduces that gap between, for example, the Mini 2, the Air 2S and the Mavic 3 because of that compression. But when you fire up on a 4K monitor, the differences become much, much larger, and the Mavic 3 becomes massively better. So if you're looking the best camera in the sky right now for professional use, or you're just an extreme hobbyist or even a hobbyist that just wants the best of the best, the Mavic 3 is for you. You also get that extended flight time. That's really useful because flight time doesn't matter so much if you've got fly more combos because you've got multiple batteries. 31 minutes from the Mini 2 or Air 2S is usually not enough for me in one location, but that doesn't make a much difference if I've got multiple batteries. I just land it and put another battery in. 46 minutes coming from the Mavic 3 is enough for one location, and where that really becomes beneficial is if I don't have the other two batteries charged, I know that going with one battery is going to be more than enough, or I can just use one battery for each location. 46 minutes is an exceptional flight time and more than enough to get all the photos and videos you need in each location. Lastly, it's the flagship drone. So quite simply, if you want the best DJI consumer/prosumer drone right now, it's going to be the Mavic 3. The only con is the cost. It's an expensive drone. You're paying for that exceptional video photo quality. You're paying for such an exceptional drone. So that's just something to be aware of. You know, you're going to have to justify that cost, whether that's you just really enjoy the drone flying hobby, that's fine, or maybe you're a commercial user and you know you'll make that back, but you just need to be aware that this is not a cheap drone. So that's it. That's the 3 drones I think you should buy in 2022, the differences in specifications between the 3 of them, and which one I think is suited towards which use case or user. Let me know which drone you think is the best drone in 2022 currently in the comments down below. And before you go, if you've liked this video and learned something new, please give me the thumbs up by clicking the like button down below. If you've picked up any of these drones or you're a drone flyer and want to know how to get better photos and more cinematic videos with your drone, then I have a ton of other content on my channel to help you level up your drone game. If you want to stick around and see a few more of them now, then here's a few I personally recommend checking out. I'll not keep you back any further. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you over there.